New Thought Media Network proudly presents the Global Heart of Peace's Peace Party. Celebrate the many paths to peace. Explore an exciting life of peace. Embody joyous peace. Come to our weekly Peace Party, Mondays at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Only on New Thought Media Network. www.ntmedia.org.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Peace Party. We are here, brought to you by Global Heart Peace Initiative. And what we're going to do is celebrate the many aspects of peace and explore how joyful and beautiful a life of peace can be. So today I'm going to be talking about peace and joy now. I'm Reverend Gina, and I am blessed to be here with you. I am the minister of CSL, the Joyful Heart Center for Spiritual Living. I'm also a member of this New Thought Media Network's beautiful prayer team, which I have been blessed to be a part of for the past 4 years. And what I'm here to do today is talk to you about my personal experience, my path for peace and what it's meant to me and how I practice it. I believe we are here for joy. We are here to be that joyous presence in the world. And as individualized expressions, we get to be that. So I'm going to take us into prayer for just a moment to be right here, right now. And take a breath and know that there is only one power presence. It is love, it is peace, and it is joy. And I know that it is here with us over the next 15 minutes. It is especially being celebrated as you and as me right here and right now. So I am grateful for you being here with me. I believe we are the change we wish to see in the world. And to do that, we need to be our highest version of ourselves. And what does that mean? Because there's a whole lot of sound bites out there. There's a lot of stuff that goes along with this thing called life. And some of it is beautiful. We have, if we're blessed, to realize it. And that's one of the things that goes with peace for me is it's the practice of gratitude. It is understanding that I am already joy. I am already love, peace, harmony, all the beautiful attributes of divine. So anything that spirit is, I am. And if I know that of me, I know that each individualized expression is peace, is love, is joy, is that harmony. Now, we can say that, and that can be words, or we can live that in an expression by acts of kindness and love. But we have to put ourselves in that place to be that. It doesn't just happen automatically in a society that can be, well, to me, it's about bigger, better, faster, more. Always looking for, more. The newest piece of technology or what's going on TV and all many distractions of politics or there's so much stuff that can distract us from that place of peace. But it is a personal practice. It is a touchstone. But I do believe that it can be definitely activated through gratitude. I believe that any kind of healing, any kind of joy, all of the expressions of those attributes come through grace, especially through grace. And that's not something we create in a physical way. I can't say, recite this prayer and you're going to have that. It doesn't work that way. We have spiritual practices that can help us get into that place of peace. When we began, we just had a quick prayer, but there are, prayer is something, it's you communing with spirit, whatever you call that. You could call it the universe. You could call it God. You can call it Allah. You could call it whatever you choose. It is the creator of all there is. And there's only one. So knowing that that creator is that divine parent, guardian of love, I begin with that. And that is a sacred practice, just identifying, what we do on morning prayer, evening prayer it's what we call, whether you call it treatment or affirmative prayer, there's a 5-step process to that so that we can get to that place of knowing and accepting and expecting, ask, believe, and receive. So there's so many different practices. Of course, there's meditation, because prayer is talking to God. Meditation is listening. And yes, if you are in a place that works for you, great, if you have those practices. Because there's nothing like being in that crazy rattled space and settling into that meditation time. Now, for me, that began simply with, I had to repeat again and again, be still and know. And that kept me centered so that I wasn't thinking about everything else. I grew up in inner city Boston, and my mind races everywhere. I have the diagnosis of ADD and ADHD, and the bottom line is my mind can be in a million directions at once at any given moment. So to be still and know and be in that stillness for me is a practice. It's not an accident. It doesn't just happen. I have to remind myself that it is in the stillness that I am guided, guarded, and governed by Spirit. It's choice. And it does help me and help me in life. Yes, there's a gratitude practice where you can either write down or think about all of the things that you're grateful for. My sister transitioned very young. She was only 38 years old. And it made me realize in a big way, I get to be here. I get to be and take this breath. And I'm going to do the most with it that I absolutely can. I choose joy again and again and again. And when I'm not in the headspace I want to be, I use my spiritual practices to help me get there. Now, I certainly can't give you all of that in 15 minutes, but know that there are ways. Another great way for that is spiritual community, whether it's going to a center if you have one around you. New Thought is what we are part of, New Thought Media Network. I am personally a Center for Spiritual Living minister. Whatever it is you practice, in whatever spiritual connection you have, is beautiful. There is no wrong. There is no wrong. But when you connect, there's beauty in that. And when we are grateful that we can, that we choose to, that I can see and speak with you right now, that's a miracle in its own right. And if this is reaching you at a time where you need and choose to experience greater peace or joy, realize that it is within you. It is your practices that help you get there. In my experience, part of that is listening to my soul versus the ego. The ego always wants to keep me safe, yes, but it also wants me to have enough of everything. So I'm always worried about security. I'm always worried about bigger, better, faster, more, or what's next, or can I, would I, should I? All that stuff is ego-driven. And it's not that there's a bad, but it doesn't bring me peace. When I am settled into my soul, in the knowing of who and whose I am as my birthright, it makes it a whole lot easier. Now, for me, I do watch a Sunday service online most of the time. When I'm able, I actually go to it, but I watch online every Sunday. But I also have a wonderful group that I work with, Sacred Circle at 7 on Thursday nights. You are invited. I'm going to give you my email. I'm going to put up my email so that if you want any information about it, I can get you the link for that. And you can reach out to me. And by all means, I can let you know. It's Gina at believeinouttoday.com. I can get you a link. It's 7 p.m. Eastern time. So wherever you are in the world, every Thursday night. And it's always a different aspect around, being in that place of sacred circle, conversation. It's always a different spiritual leader, whether practitioners, ministers, all coming together on different topics every week for a sacred discussion. It's hearing and being heard. It's being seen. These are the practices. Visioning is another one that can be beautiful because it's seeing not only what I want, but what does Spirit want for me? One thing that I've really appreciated recently is the fact that I don't have to be physically perfect, financially, or in everything in life doesn't have to be perfect for me to experience joy. Unfortunately, I have a diagnosis of cancer that I've been experiencing in different ways and different aspects for the past 30 years. Now, I don't say this to be a downer, but I say this because I have joy and peace in my life in a greater way today than I did even 3.5 years ago, which sounds crazy to me, but it's true because I've learned how to connect with what is real. And there's not, physical pain can be a distraction, but it's not truth. Truth is the love and joy that I choose to experience fully and embody. And it does work. And I'm going to read you a poem that came out of this, for me, a revelation that I wrote. It's called Allowing. And I wrote it actually last month. There is truth in the silence that can only be found when I am still. There is beauty in a message that opens the heart only if I will. There is nowhere to hide in this openness, vulnerability at its core. There is nothing to fear in this moment, no need to do or say more. I observe and not judge. Spirit within me beckons me closer to the peace that I long for. I let go of the resentment and regret of the past. Pain and struggle are allowed to pass. I lean into allowing this moment to last. There are no excuses, plans, or desires. I am lifted, lighter, and higher. Seeming worries and burdens are stripped away without anything I do or say. The alchemy of spirit is working through and as me today, not because I earned it, but allowed it to be this way. When I stop running away, I get the chance to feel this way. The sunlight of the Spirit shines bright within me this day. I pray I remember and always allow Spirit to lead the way. In this moment, I am set free, simply by allowing the divinity within me. So it is up to me to let go of that which doesn't serve and settle into that which I choose, that highest version of me. And I can tell you that I have experienced a greater peace, joy, love, since I have simply allowed myself to be where I am. It doesn't mean I don't expect better. It doesn't mean that I'm not knowing absolute perfection and wholeness. But I know there's a reason for everything. And I simply allow myself to care for myself right here, right now, and experience peace, joy, and gratitude as a choice, consciously. Now, whether it's speaking to someone, if you want to speak to a minister or a practitioner, if you want to reach out, there's so many different ways. As a life coach, I also have worked with people in non-spiritual ways. Whatever works, find someone that can help you if you're stuck. And know that peace and joy are always accessible, regardless of circumstance. So there's so much more that I could go into, and I'm so grateful that you are here with me. Thank you so much to the Global Heart of Peace Initiative for letting me be here. Your next week is a treat. Reverend Katie Roxburgatti is going to be here with you, and she is incredible. So join us on Monday nights, Global Heart of Peace as we have this peace party. And I wish you love, joy, and peace now. Blessings and love. Namaste.